Hey guys, how's it going? Let's see. So I'm gonna put this link up on our social media real quick, and then we can get started. Let's see. Let's get it on the Instagram real quick. Grab this link. So if you guys are new here, go ahead and put any questions you guys have in the. Hey guys, how's it going? Let's see. In the YouTube chat, and then once we get started, I can get through to your guys' questions. So feel free to ask anything about trading or any questions in general, really. And I can get to your guys' questions once we get started in a few minutes. Let me just get this on the YouTube real quick. I mean on the Instagram. Let's see, swipe up. Hey Nathan, how's it going? Let's see, Velocity said question, will no US 30 positions be taken after election due to volatility? Velocity, we're probably going to take more US 30 entries after election because there's always going to be volatility with US 30, especially during US session. More volatility is actually better than low volatility, because obviously we're trying to catch those trades during market open. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the strategy of velocity, but generally what we do is we try to catch the momentum swing when the market opens, and then we pretty much just ride that for the rest of that session. So we're probably going to be taking a lot more after election, or I mean we're still going to take US 30 trades whenever whenever they appear, but it's probably going to be a lot easier to catch those momentum swings when there's more volatility in the market. Sorry guys, I'm trying to put this on the Instagram. I can't find the swipe up button. Let's see. It's so weird. It used to be a huge swipe up thing, but they keep changing these buttons on the Instagram. Let's see. I'll just use this one. Cool. Shamar said, what's your view on GBP AUD? So I'll take a look at that right now. We don't really have anything on the agenda today, guys, because, since the Fed spoke earlier, the market's just been a little crazy. So it's probably going to be, pretty slow for the most part until we actually figure out, what's going to happen with stimulus talk. I think they're still working on it right now, but they're probably going to, decide on something at some point soon, hopefully. Well, I'll definitely take a look at GA right now. Just let me give it a few more minutes for people to make their way in, and then I'm going to get this link up on the Instagram real quick, and then we can probably get started. Let's see. Oh, no wonder I was on the wrong account. All right, cool. I got this on the Instagram. Looks like we're good on that. All right, guys. So, hey, guys, welcome. If you guys are new here, feel free to put any questions you guys have in the YouTube chat. I don't know if anyone's on the Zoom. No, so no one's on the Zoom. Everyone's on the YouTube. So if you guys have any questions, regarding trading, regarding the K2 strategies, regarding any specific pair you want me to analyze, feel free to put it in the YouTube chat. And then I can get to your question, as we go down the list. If we run out of questions, I'm probably just going to go down each pair and see if there's any entries. The next 4-hour candle closes in about 2 hours. So we have a lot of time from now until then, before we start to look for new moves. So if you guys want me to analyze anything, feel free to put it in the YouTube chat, and then I can take a look. But right now, first question is from Shamar. Shamar is asking, what's your view on GBP AUD? So I'm going to pull that up right here. Here are our zones right here from the K2SR indicator. So let me see if there's any new zones that have been created since then. Let's see. Everything looks pretty good for the most part. It just looks like we don't have an upper zone right now. So let's see. I'm going to take these off. I'm going to go on the higher time frame. The reason why we want an upper zone is so if we take, buy position, we want to know where price is likely to turn around. because obviously, it can't go up forever. It'll go up to some extent until it hits some sort of resistance or some zone, and then it'll come back down at some point before either continuing up or dropping back down. So right now we have no upper zone right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the higher time frame, like the 8-hour, and I'm going to find an upper zone where we can identify any rejection point. So there's nothing there. Actually, so there's a big zone right here on the daily. So this is the daily time frame. I'm just going to create a zone right here. So that's the next zone there. And then the zone after that's way up here. So once price breaks this zone over here, let's go back on the 4-hour. All right, cool. So once price breaks, this zone right here, odds are it's probably going to go skyrocketing way up. It looks like it attempted to break the zone right here. However, it pulled back a little bit. That's normal. So it basically broke upwards, came back down to retest this zone right here. And then it's probably going to shoot right back up. So once it closes above this area right here, then we could probably ride this super up, because if you check this out, the next zone is way up here. This is like how many pips? Gee, that's like 1,000 pips. It's probably not going to go that high. It's probably going to, push up to some point, obviously retrace back a little bit. And then if the news, helps it, it'll probably keep shooting on up higher. So currently we would just have to wait for this to actually break this zone over here, because this usually happens. Basically, if you were to enter this trade right here, so this technically would have been the entry. Your stop loss would be at the previous swing, which would be way down here for about like 260 pips, I guess. So this would be the actual full move if you were to take that entry right there. So technically this trade is technically active if someone took that trade there. And it's actually pushing right back up. So you can see price rejected off this point, came up here, pulled back, retraced to this point. It was a break and retest. And then now it's pushing back up. So that's probably what's going to happen there with GA. And if you guys aren't familiar with the K2SR zone, so if you look at the zones here, I'm just going to show you guys an example. I don't know who here is new or who here has been around. I know majority of people here has been around. So basically, the way that the K2SR zones work is we identify the areas where price rejects from in the past. So if you turn on the K2SR indicator, basically what it does is it automatically plots these zones on the chart for you. So you can see generally price comes down and then it rejects off the zone, comes back down, and it literally goes from zone to zone. That's why we have these zones over here, because we're able to identify where the rejections have taken place. So if I turn on these zones here, you can see that even though these zones were created here, like barely this week, these same exact zones have been testing way back in the past. So you can see the same zone that we've created over here. It's tested back in August. It's tested in September. It's tested in July. It's tested in June, May, March. So basically, if you're familiar with the Forex market, history almost always repeats itself. So since we're at this critical zone right here, you can see that price hasn't broken the zone in months. It hasn't broken the zone since August. Last time it broke the zone was in June, which it broke it, but then it came right back down. But if you go back even further, so if you go back super far, look, check this out. So September of last year, right? September into October, this is the same time last year. It was in the same exact zone. So look what happened here. Price did the same exact thing that we're looking at right now. Price came up, broke the zone, came back down to retest, and then it shot way up, right? To this next zone, which is what I just analyzed where price currently is. So, just looking at this from here, basically, if we're just patient enough to wait for price to break above the zone again on this end, then we can pretty much just ride that all the way up. But, we'd have to be patient because obviously with the elections going on and, all the news events this week, let me see if there's news this week. See, Forex Factory has been down. I don't know if you guys tried to go on Forex Factory recently, but the website's been down. So I might have to look at news on a different website. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know what's up with Forex Factory, but this this whole week the website's just been down. So you can see right here, I tried to open Forex Factory, but it's not opening. I know I checked this morning and it said that their servers were down or something. That's super weird because I've never really noticed that for Forex Factory. So I mean, we could look at, or better yet, I'll go on FTMO because they're pretty on point with the news because we obviously can't trade during certain times. So let me just go to FTMO. I'm going to check their news to see what they got on calendar. All right, cool. So right here, Tuesday, their sources are Forex Factory too, but Forex Factory is not working. Let's see. Okay, so today's Tuesday. Man, I don't even know what time zones these are. But I don't think there's any news today because let me see. The last time I posted the news a couple days ago or yesterday, and we hit a ton of TPs, guys. I don't know if you guys have been following the post, but we've hit so many TPs. Like I can't believe that we've hit so many TPs in it like so early in the week. Honestly, I'm shocked myself. If you guys are shocked, I'm super shocked because I thought it was going to be a slow week, but we've been hitting it. Okay, so here's the news right here. What's today? Today is the 20th. So we have news tonight at 11, GBP news. That might affect our later trades, but I don't know if it's really going to affect it right now. So we'll probably still take trades, but yeah, I don't think there's any news coming up soon. I can't even read this calendar. Sorry, guys, because it's like I don't even know what time zone this is in because they're like on CES time. But hopefully Forex Factory comes back online so we can check the news later. But it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal because we already have the calendar right here. The next news is at 11 p.m. So that's like in what, like 7 hours. We got a lot of time. But okay, so let me go back to the questions. You guys saw GA right here. Basically, we're gonna wait for price to break above. So obviously we have the momentum going upwards right here. Once price breaks above this point, then we'll take a look. Maybe in the next 2 hours when this candle closes, price might shoot up to this point, and maybe we'll have an entry for a buy there. But yeah, there's not really much to look at for GA right now because it's still stuck within this zoned area. All right, let's see. So we got one more question. ComCon Technical Services said, can you go over US 30 daily entries and scalping? US 30 daily Asian session entry. ComCon. So for the US 30 daily strategy, it's mainly based on New York session. However, you can use it during Asia session and any other session, but I don't recommend it because I haven't back tested it. But we can still look at it. So I'll take a look at it and I'll see how the entries are. But I generally never take the entries in any session other than the US session because that's when I trade it. I know a lot of people traded during London, but I know the last couple of weeks they haven't really been on point. So that strategy is based on US 30 during New York session because it's a US asset. Obviously, if you want to trade London session, you might be better off trading the DAX because the reason we take that trade is so that we can catch the volatility movement and momentum in that specific direction for that specific trading session. Because obviously, if you're going to trade London session, you want to trade a European asset. If you're trading US 30, US 30 is a US asset. So obviously the volatility is going to be high when the New York Stock Exchange is open, which is when these specific assets are being traded. If you want to trade London session, then yeah, maybe you should trade the DAX. If you want to trade Asia session, maybe you should trade the Nikkei, the Japanese 225. Or if you want to trade the Aussie session, yeah, you can trade the Aussie 200. But we'll take a look at basically all of them if you guys want. But let's see. Let me keep going around. So let me just check the other questions real quick before I dive into US 30. Let's see. Apollo said, hey, Shawn, new here, would like to trade US 30 coming up as a non-tradable symbol through Panda and Forex.com. Hey, Apollo. So depending on where you're located, I don't think you can trade US30 with Forex.com. They don't even have the asset on here. So if you look here, the only two brokers that carry it on TradingView are Currency.com and Oanda. So these are the only brokers that you can trade with on TradingView. So that's why it's coming up as non-tradable, because I don't think Forex.com carries it. I know Awanda does, but you'd have to be a non-US resident. Generally, US clients can't trade indices. We have to trade the actual future. So that's why we'd fall under currency.com. But, if you're not located in the US, you could probably trade it on Awanda if you want to check that out. But I've never heard of Panda, so I'm not sure what that is. But for Forex.com, I don't think it's possible unless you're like located in some area that allows it. Me personally, I'm located in the US, so it doesn't work for US clients. But yeah, it just really depends on where you're located. But okay, let me keep going through. Let's see. Sierra said, how do you get your trading view to go that far up to see the next zone? Sierra, so basically, so like looking at GA right here, I'm just going to turn this off. So if you don't have the zones around this area, like how, I was looking at earlier, so I have the zones up right here, you can see that I don't have any zones that are in this area, right? So the highest zone goes to right here. In order to get those higher zones, you just go on the higher time frame. So you go like on the 8-hour, and then you hide the zones right here. You can see that there's another zone there. If there's still no higher zone right here, you can go on the higher time frame, like the daily. And there you go. See, if you look at the daily, there's going to be higher time zones right here. I mean, K2SR zones. So basically all you have to do is go on the higher time frame. If you don't have zones on that specific time frame that you're looking on, generally, if you go on the higher time frame, there'll be a zone that appears sooner or later. So usually if you don't see anything on the 4-hour, go on the 8-hour. If you don't see anything on the 8-hour, go to the daily. And most of the time you'll have something on the daily because it goes pretty far out. However, if you don't find anything on the daily, you can go up to the weekly. But I don't think it's going to be that necessary because generally you'll probably find something on the daily since it goes back pretty far. Like you can see if you go back on the daily and you zoom out, this goes way back to April 2019. And I'm sure you're familiar with the Forex market. It generally comes back to the same area where it's tested at some point, within the last year. So let's go back to the 4-hour right here, turn this back on, and there are our zones. All right, so let me keep going down real quick. Yeah, I know, Siri. It was confusing to me at first because I didn't even know either. I only figured it out by messing around with the charts because generally if you go on the higher time frame, you could find, those next zones. Okay, so let me keep going down. Jordan said, do you think I can show you a new scalping strategy for US30 I backtested? Yeah, Jordan, sure. Well, we're not gonna be able to show it on here because obviously this is a one-sided webinar. I can't share your screen, but if you want to send it over to me on TradingView, feel free. I mean, not TradingView, on Telegram. If you want to send it to me on Telegram, just send me like your requirements and stuff like that, and then I can backtest it, and then we can see how accurate it is, and then we can both put our information together and see how accurate it is long term. Because the thing is, when you're backtesting a strategy, you have to go back years and years in data. You can't just go back a few weeks because obviously the seasons change and the market moves differently throughout the year. However, if you go back like 2 to 4 to 5 to 6 years back, like that's how I tested the daily US30 strategy. That's how I figured out that it actually works all year round. And I found, the sweet spot for when we should trade it. But yeah, if you have the requirements for that strategy, Jordan, just send it over on Telegram and then I can look it over and then we could, put our data together. I could probably backtest it while you backtest it and we'll see, what the win percentage is for that. But yeah, there's a ton of different ways to apply the strategy. It might be even something that I've used before. Let's see. All right, City TV said, do you have specific settings for the K2SR zones? I use the basic, the default ones because these are the ones that I program them with. So if you turn on the K2SR indicator, just go to settings here. And then the only difference that I changed was the length. So I think normally it's like at 100, but you can see here that if you do that, they're kind of short, right? For me, I want them to go across the entire screen. So by doing that, I just increase the length to 500. So if you do that, it goes across the entire screen. So that's the only difference that I've changed for the K2SR. I also turn on the body levels, but it's not necessary. I mean, it just adds a couple of zones. So you can see right there, it creates more zones where price currently is. And if you take it off, it just moves it back. So it doesn't make a huge difference. However, I think it's a lot more accurate if you're focusing on what the levels are currently versus, the levels way back here, which are going to be a little bit irrelevant because we're not really trading in that area right now. So those are the only things I changed. I just made the length longer, and then I checked show body levels. But it's really up to preference. If you don't want to have the body levels on, you don't need to. But me personally, if you want to have them how I have them, then I would just turn them on. So that's about it. Okay, so let me go back to, I see your question, Sierra. Sierra's asking if we can look at NZD-CHF, but I'm gonna go back to ComCon's question because he wanted us to go over the US 30 daily entries and scalping, and then he wanted me to go over Asian session. But we'll try to look over it. I'm not saying the strategy doesn't work during Asia session because it's based on momentum. So as long as there's momentum in the market, it'll probably work. But I don't think it's going to be as accurate as trading it during its actual, that asset session. So, okay, I'll just go over the first entry for today. This is one that we didn't take because there was Fed news going on. Like they were talking about the new stimulus plan. And, we were worried that if, they say something while we're in a trade, it's probably going to spike price, which it did. Like you can see right here, it spiked down, then it spiked up, then it spiked down. These are huge spikes. These aren't like normal movements here. So you can see from right here, when the market opened, it opened from down here, it spiked up about, these are standard pips because we're measuring it on the actual future. But if you're trading it on indices, you just add a 0 to it. So it says 174 here, but in reality, this is 174 standard pips versus if you're trading indices like on Hugo's Way or something, this would be 1700. So you just add a 0 to the end and it'll be 1,740 pips, micro pips. So you can see right here, as soon as market opened, it jumped within the first 50 minutes, like 1,700 pips. And then from there, it dropped from here to down here for like another 1,800 pips. And then from here, it dropped, it shot from down here all the way up here for like 3,000 pips. So you guys can see that these movements are super irregular. Like this isn't normally how it's supposed to move. Generally it moves in one direction, but right here it was literally bouncing back and forth. That's why once this was happening, we just decided not to take the trade because it's just too risky. Sometimes you guys just have to understand when not to take the trade because, there's a lot of people that get lucky when they catch these trades and they think they're like the best trader, but they don't show their losses. For us, we want to take trades that are like almost 100% sure that we're going to hit, TP, because obviously the real goal in trading, once you trade like long enough, is more so not hitting these big wins. Your main goal is to minimize your risk and eliminate your losses. Because the thing is, if you eliminate your risk and you just have straight wins, your profit is just going to grow from there. You're going to keep compounding your account versus you like basically gambling. Like a lot of people just take trades in one direction and then, they have like one big win, but then you don't hear from them for like a whole month. And then that's because they're taking all these losses and they just had that one big win. For me, I show my profits every single day. I share trades every single day. I'm pretty consistent with my trading. And the more you trade and the longer you trade, you'll start to understand that it's not about just winning these big wins. It's more so about managing your risk. Risk management is going to be your key in lasting and trading long term. A lot of people don't see that. A lot of people just want to have big profits, but then they don't want to show their big losses. So, just take that with a grain of salt if you guys are, still new to trading, because you guys will feel the burn eventually. Everyone has a bad time trading until you actually really get it. So let me show you guys the entry here for the US 30 entry. So if you were to take the entry, we didn't take this entry, but there was an entry here. Basically, this is how it would work. So let me just replay it to this point, and then I'm going to put the requirements right over here. So this is going to be the K2 daily US 30 entry. So our strategy, the first requirement is just to start looking for trades after the New York Stock Exchange open, which is going to be at 6:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Savings Time, which is my time zone. And then next, you're going to identify the first valid K2 signal. And then after that, you can enter on the open of the following candle. And then set stop loss TP to 1500 micro pips. I'll make this smaller right here. Okay, so first requirement, you're going to look for trades after the New York Stock Exchange open. The reason why we're doing that is because we're trying to catch the momentum swing after the market opens. So the market opens right here at 6:30 a.m. my time. And you can see that, there's an initial movement in one direction, and then it generally corrects back to wherever it's supposed to go. However, today was a weird day. There was stuff going on in the news, and that's why it was bouncing back and forth. I'll show you another trade from the previous day when the market was acting a little normal. And I'll show you that, generally it moves in one direction. It usually doesn't whipsaw like this. But if you're applying the strategy as it's explained, first you start looking for trades after the New York Stock Exchange open at 6:30 a.m. So this is 6:30 a.m. After this, we're just looking for the first valid K2 signal after market is open right here. So market is open right here. This is the first valid K2 signal. And this is a valid signal because it's a red sell signal with a red bearish candle. So basically what you have to do is you have to match the signal with that color in order for it to be valid. So right here, we have a valid buy signal. This is valid because it's a green buy signal with a green bullish candle. Similarly, right here, same thing. Red sell signal with a red bearish candle. And then right here, green buy signal with a green bullish candle. So, you guys get it. It's really simple. This would be the first valid K2 signal. So requirement 1 was met because we started looking for trades after 6:30 a.m. The second requirement was to identify the first valid K2 signal, which would be right here. And then third, you can enter on the open of the following candle. So right here would be our entry. We'd enter a sell position right here. And then we set our stop loss and TP to 1500 micro pips. This has been determined from my back test. I back tested this strategy, about 2 to 4 years back. So I literally went every single day. I did the back test and I made sure that it worked properly, and it worked pretty flawlessly throughout those, 4 years. So if you go back that far in data, and then you understand that, it generally hits, odds are it's going to keep hitting moving forward, since it's a year-round strategy. It's not a seasonal strategy like most other strategies. So right here, once those are all set up, you can enter the trade right here. You let it run, and there you go. You hit full TP within, I don't know, let's see, in about an hour. So in 1 hour, you would have hit full TP for 1500 micro pips. If you're trading that with a standard lot, that would be $15,000 in profit. That's not realistic, but it's just a breakdown for you guys. And then if you're trading a micro lot, then you'd make 1500 off this trade. And if you're trading if you're trading a mini lot, you make 1500 off this trade. And then if you're trading a micro lot, then this would be $150 in profit. So there's one entry right there. Let's see. So ComCon wanted me to look at the other entries as well. So the entries for Asia session. And like I mentioned, Asia session isn't always on point. So I'd never recommend that you apply this during Asia session, because it's a totally different session, and the US 30 asset isn't even, it's trading, but it's not trading at its full potential, like during New York session. But anyways, I'll go back right here. This is going to be London session over here. So I'm just going to show you guys all the different sessions so you guys can see how it works. So London session opens right here at midnight. So same requirements, but instead of looking for trades after the New York Stock Exchange open for London, you'll look for trades after the London open, which is midnight right here, midnight my time. So this is London open. The first valid K2 signal is right here. So you'd enter a long position. So I'll replay it over there so you guys can see what it looks like. Okay, so right here would be London open. This would be the first valid K2 signal, right? So right here, you enter a long position. Same parameters, 150 pips, or 150 standard pips or 1500 micro pips. So we set this up here. You let the trade run. And then let's see if it hits. Wow, okay, so it actually did hit. So if you took the London entry, same exact requirements, start looking for trades after, instead of the New York Stock Exchange open, it would be London open, which would be midnight. And then you identify the first valid K2 signal, which would be right here. And then same thing. So you can see right here, if you took the London entry and you took the US entry over here, they both would have hit full TP. One of the guys in the group took it. Let's see. Let's see. Someone in the group. Oh yeah, so Jazz over here. So Jazz took US. He took the same entry that I just showed you guys. So he took the entry for London, which was right here. He hit full TP, and then he also took it for New York session right here, which hit full TP as well. So, you know, if you're applying the strategy on your own, you can easily, you know, hit these TPs. Look at Jazz right here. Hit 300 pips, or that would be about 3,000 pips for London session and New York session. So it just really depends on you if you want to apply it yourself. You know, I'm generally asleep during this time because I live in the US. So at midnight, I'm asleep, so I can't take the London entry. But generally, it does work. It just hasn't been working as much the past couple of weeks. So that's why a lot of people just haven't been trading it. But okay, so let's go back to what was it? The Asia session, I think. Yeah. So this is the New York session. This is London session. So here's a problem. I don't trade the Asia session, so I don't know where the sweet spot is. For me, you know, New York session is obviously when the New York Stock Exchange open, which is 6:30 a.m. Same for London, it's going to be London open. The thing with Asia session is that it overlaps with the Aussie session. So, you know, it's kind of hard to determine whether you want to take the trade, you know, during the Aussie open or the Asia open. So, you know, if we look at the Asia open over here, I think that'd be 1,700 hours. So say like right here. Oh, sorry. Let me put this right here. So this would be the Aussie Open, right? Or I mean the Asia Open. So this would be Asia Open. Now we're gonna look for the first valid K2 signal. This is invalid because it's a sell signal with a green bullish candle. It's got to be red for it to be valid. Let's see. Okay, right here's the first valid signal, right? So if we were to apply the same principles right here, you enter a long position right there on the close. Same thing, 1,500 pips. We just delete this, and then you let it run. Let's see if it actually hits. Let's see. Oh yeah, so it actually does hit. I mean, it took a long time, but you know what? There's not you're at that. That's understandable because you're trading during Asia session, which is the slowest session, and that's why I don't even recommend you trade it during Asia session. But if you do want to trade it, you know, this goes to show that it actually works. So, you know, it's up to you if you want to apply it. Me personally, I can't recommend it because I haven't back tested it to fully understand whether it works or not. But obviously it does work. It did work right here. So if you took all three trades during Asia, London, and New York session, they all would have hit full TP. So that'd be a total of, what is that? 4,500 pips within one day. They're just with just three trades. So if you took that with a mini lot, that'd be $4,500 in profit. If you took that with a micro lot, that'd be $450 in profit. So they both work. But like I said, I haven't back tested Asia session, so I can't recommend it. But if you want to apply it yourself, you're more than welcome. You know, it still works. Obviously, you can see here, it just takes a little bit longer for it to hit. Like right here for Asia session, it took about 12 hours. You know, that's crazy. If you're holding a US 30 trade for 12 hours, that's a long time to hold it. And then again, over here for London, if you were to take the London entry, same situation. It hit full TP, you know, eventually, but it took a long time. It cut into the US session. So if you're holding this trade, you'd hold it for nearly 9 hours, you know, and this is the difference that I'm telling you guys. So like, check this out. This was like, what, like 12 hours. This was 9 hours. Look how long it takes for the US session to hit. Less than an hour, or about an hour. So let's see, from right here, it took about an hour. So you see the huge difference between you hitting TP within an hour hitting TP within 9 hours and hitting TP within 12 hours. This is why I don't trade the other sessions, because this asset isn't based, within this specific session. Like if you're trading a US asset during like a strictly, this isn't even Forex, because for Forex, the pairs are paired with other assets. So you could be trading the CAD JPY during Asia session because it's paired with the JPY. The thing with US 30s, this is a US asset. So, you can't expect much volatility to be happening outside of the US session. And that's why I don't really recommend you trade it, unless you're fully comfortable with it. Because I can't give you guys the guarantee that it's going to work, because I don't even know myself. But if you guys want to try it, you guys are more than welcome. But okay, so let's go back to so Khan wanted me to go over the daily US 30 strategy entries. So these were the entries for that day. And then if you want to apply scalping, we apply the K2 pivot strategy. So if you want to do that, you turn on the K2 pivots right here. Let me see if there's any entries over here. I'll just delete this stuff. So there were entries a couple days ago. There were entries over here. There were no entries on this side for the pivot strategy. Obviously, you can see, but there were entries over here at this point. So if you're looking to scalp US 30, I'll just move this over. I'll show you the requirements for this. So this is going to be the K2 pivots scalping strategy. So first, you're going to identify the trend using the K2 pivots. Next, you're going to identify a pullback retracement. Third, you're going to identify a rejection off K2 pivots area. And then lastly, you're going to identify a valid K2 signal. Then after that, you can enter on the open of the following candle. And then you can place stop loss at previous swing. All right, so check this out. First, you're going to identify the trend using the K2 pivots. Basically, when price is below the pivots, this is going to demonstrate that there is, a downtrend, and it's pretty clear. Basically, price has to be below the pivots. The pivots have to be spread out like they are right here, and they all have to be angling in the same direction. So this is a downtrend here. It's pretty clear. Vice versa over here, price is above the pivots. You see the pivots are spread out and they're all angling upwards. This would obviously be an uptrend, right? So there's an uptrend right there. Easy to look at. You just make sure that price is above the pivots or below the pivots. They're all angling in the same direction and they're spread out. The more spread out they are, the stronger the trend. So same right here. So this is an uptrend. This is a downtrend, right? So right here, if we're identifying the trend using the K2 pivots, it's clearly in a downtrend right here because price is below the pivots are spread out and they're angling downwards. So this is a downtrend. First requirement's been met. The second requirement, identify a pullback retracement. So you can see right here, price was coming down. And then from this point right here, it pulled back and retraced upwards, right? It's pretty easy, and it's clear to see. So that's requirement number 2. We've identified the pullback retracement. Third, identify a rejection off the K2 pivots area. So you can see right here, price was going up, going down, retracement from this point, and there's the rejection off the K2 pivots area. And it's a rejection because it established a high right here. So basically what's happening here is it's establishing like a high, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, lower high, lower low, and then the same thing over and over again. So the first requirement, we've identified the downtrend. That's first requirement. Requirement number 2, we've identified the pullback. Price came down from here and then it pulled back. Third, identify a rejection off the K2 pivots area. So you see price comes down, pulls back, rejects off this point, nice wick right there. Lastly, identify a valid K2 signal. So right here, we have a valid sell signal because it's a sell signal with the red bearish candle. So once those requirements have been met, you can enter on the open of the following candle. So right here, we enter a short position. Place your stop loss at the previous swing, which should be somewhere around here. About, 50 pips, I guess. 50 pips, 50 standard pips, or 500 micro pips. So we have that set up right there. You let it run, and there you go, full TP, right? That's how you'd scalp US 30 using the K2 pivot scalping strategy. So let's see if there's any other entries over here. This might be an entry here. This is a bit of an iffy entry because when you're identifying the, where did the thing go? So if you're trying to identify the trend, you can see that the trend right here is actually kind of hard to identify because you can see that they're not really spread out. They are all angling upwards, but they're not really spread out. So it's kind of hard to see right here, right? However, if you're going to go back to over here, here's another example. And these go like pretty far back. So we could actually go up from like right here or something. So like right here, same thing. You identify the trend. Obviously price is trending down because, you know, price is below the pivots. They're spread out and they're angling downwards. So it's in a downtrend. You can see right here, price comes up, comes down, pulls back from this point, and then shoots back up. There's a retracement, requirement number 2. Requirement number 3, identify a rejection off the K2 pivots area. Price comes down, pulls back, and then rejects off the K2 pivots around this area right here, right? Lastly, we have a valid sell signal right here. So all those requirements have been met. Enter a short position right here. Stop loss of the previous swing, which would be somewhere around there. So we can probably put like 55. And then we let that run. And there you go. Hit full TP again, right? Easy. Again, right here, same situation. Identify the trend. It's still trending down. Identify the pullback. You can see price comes. Let's delete, or we can just look at it from here. So price comes down. It retraces and pulls back from this point. So price comes down, retraces upwards, rejection off the K2 pivots area right here, right? Sell signal right there. Enter another short position right over there. We put our stop loss at the previous swing, which would be right here. We'll just round that to 800 pips. And then there goes that trade. Let it run and see if it hits. There you go, full TP again. So that's 2 full TPs right there. One for 550 pips, one for 800 pips. Again, right here, identify the trend. It's still in a downtrend. Identify the pullback retracement. Price comes down, pulls back from this point right here, shoots up, rejection off the K2 pivots area, sell signal, enter a sell position. Stop loss of the previous swing right here. We'll round that to 85 pips, which would be 850 micro pips. We let that run, and there you go, another full TP. So, you know, just looking at this is how easy it is, guys, to scalp. You know, once you identify a strong trend, you can scalp it all the way down. You know, a lot of people want to make it more complicated than it should be, but as you can see right there, it's super simple. And there's more entries here. So if you keep going back and you see, you know, if you go and practice the strategy, you'll see there's a ton of entries here. And they go both ways. Like there's buy entries right here. There's more buy entries throughout here. You know, it's literally endless depending on how far you guys want to go back. But yeah, so that's the scalping strategy. Compound said USD. All right, cool. So I've covered this stuff. The next question that ComCon has is to cover the Aussie 200. So I personally don't trade that, so I don't know what the sweet spot is with regard to stop loss. So if you're like, if you remember what I mentioned earlier for the daily entry, the sweet spot is 1500 pips for US 30, and I only know that because I've back tested it. I've actually, you know, gone back and I've actually looked at what was the best stop loss TP to hit, you know, have the highest win rate. For the Aussie 200, I haven't done any testing on that, so I can't really give you what, you know, what the good parameters are. But if you were to apply the same exact strategy that I just discussed, let's see, we'll just go back and look at, let's see, we'll go back to yesterday. So yesterday was, all right, 17 right here. So here's the thing, like what I just mentioned. Basically, it's the same thing. You just wait for the Aussie session to open, or the Asia session, I guess. So 1700 right here. The first valid K2 signal is right here. It's a sell signal with a red bearish candle. You enter a short position. This is where I can't really help because I don't know what the sweet spot is for, your stop loss and TP. If we were to use the same parameters for 1500 pips, I don't know, maybe it'll work, but I can't say it does or it doesn't because I haven't tested it myself. So if we were to do that and then you ran the trade, obviously you hit full TP right there. So it does work. It's just you have to figure out where your stop loss should be because I haven't done the testing, so I wouldn't know exactly where to put it. Angel said, can you use it on another time frame? This strategy, no, because this strategy is based on the 10-minute time frame. If you want to apply the pivot strategy that I went over earlier with scalping, the pivot strategy works on all time frames. But for this specific strategy, I recommend that you use the 10-minute because that's what I've done the testing on. I mean, you can probably use it on other time frames, but I haven't done it, so I can't really give you the okay to do that or not. You'd have to go and test it out yourself to figure out if it works. I'd love to go and back test it, but I have a lot of other things to do, so I can't really go back and just focus on one pair unless it's something that I'm going to be trading myself. So if you want to go back and back test that, Angel, feel free. I know a lot of people have used it on the 15-minute and the 5-minute, which if you've looked at my past webinars, we've actually back tested it, within the past couple of weeks, and it worked. But you need to go farther than a couple of weeks. You need to go years back in time to make sure that it actually works all year round. Because the thing is, the market's different now than it was last year. So I would go back and back test that, make sure it actually works before you actually do it live, or maybe just do a demo if you want to. But going back to Aussie 200 right here, this was yesterday's. Let's go back to the previous day again, which would be right over here. All right, so same situation. This is the Asia Open at 1700 hours. First valid K2 signal right there in our long position. And then I guess we can place same parameters, 150. All right, and then we let this run, and then it hits full TP. So maybe it works. I haven't done it. I don't know if DJ's in here. DJ, if you're in here, he's actually back tested it, and he's the one that actually told me about this. So this does work according to DJ. It's been working the past couple months, but I think 2 or 3 months farther back, it wasn't working as well. So that's why you have to go back and back test it farther to make sure that it actually works, because it could work right now, but it doesn't mean it's going to work, a year from now. So it does hit right there. They're both full TPs for 1500 pips. Let's see if we go back even further. So this was Friday. Let's see. So let's run this again over here, 1700. So this looks like it would have been a loss. And this is what I mean. I haven't back tested it, so I don't even know if it works or not. But it does look like it does work sometimes. So right here, if you were to take this trade, it would have, well, it looks like if you moved your stop loss and profit right here, because it actually pushed in profit pretty high. So if price reached like 50% profit and you move your stop loss in profit, you wouldn't have lost this trade. However, I haven't back tested it, so I don't know exactly. Oh, there's DJ. So DJ said, yep, I'm here. DJ is the one that back tested this, and he's the one that actually gave me the data on this. So, I don't know if you guys are in the premium, but I mean, if DJ's okay with it, maybe you can ask him, because he's back tested it way more than me. I strictly trade US 30. So, if anything is related to US 30, I would know. But if it's a different indice, then I probably haven't back tested it because I just don't have time to, back test other assets that I don't actually trade. Yeah, okay, so DJ's right here. If you guys are in the chat, you guys can read what DJ's saying. So DJ said, I back tested it using last swing as TP and stop loss, but wasn't that good a couple months back. So yeah, that makes sense. Same situation right here. This is, it looks like it works perfectly fine for this trade and this trade over here. So maybe it's a numbers game. Maybe you just have to take the losses at some point, but then it ends up, bouncing out eventually. But okay, so this is going to be the day before. And let's go back a couple more days. We'll just see if it works. Go back to 1700 right here. So it looks like this probably would have been another, yeah, it's another loss. So this is what I mean about having to back test, because the thing is you can't just like, take the strategy for what it's for and then expect it to work 100%. So right here, it looks like it would have been another loss. So there's 2 losses and 2 wins. So I guess it would have been break even from the 14th till today. But let's go back like 2 more days and we'll just see if it works on those days. 1700. So this would be the first entry right there. And we'll just do it according to DJ's parameters. So he puts his stop loss at the previous swing. That's about, it looks like it's about right. So if we let this run, this is so like, oh man. So it looks like it barely hit stop loss and then it ended up coming straight down. I don't know if there was something going on this day. There might have been, but who knows? See, it looks like it came up, hit stop loss, and it came right back down and hit full TP. Last week was kind of a weird week, so I'm not sure if there was something going on in the news that caused it to move like this. Maybe there was, maybe there wasn't, but this is why I can't recommend it, because I haven't tested it enough for me to give you guys my okay to apply the strategy. But if we look right here, it looks like this one actually worked out perfectly fine. So this one ran over here and then it hit full TP. So it looks like overall, if you took these trades from last week till this week every single day, it looks like you would have been in profit, in the long run. But it definitely requires a lot more testing, because I don't want you guys to enter trades blindly and not understand, why you're taking the trade, or why do we understand it's going to go in that direction, because this one right here looks like it would have been a loss. Previous swing. Let's see. Angel said, I don't see the comments. Are people viewing outside YouTube? I think you should be able to see it, Angel. There's a chat box here. I think it's the same chat box that you're chatting in. Maybe. Sorry, let me see. You might be able to see it now, Angel. Sorry, I think I had to change the settings. But if you look at your chat box right here, it'll have all of the messages right here from everyone else. So I'm not sure if you see that right now, but it should be there. But yeah, that's basically what DJ said. So basically what DJ did was he back tested it. He put his stop loss at the previous swing, as is something we did right here. And yeah, this would have been another loss. So I think you guys should go back and retest it first. I mean, go and back test it before you actually, apply it on live, because the thing is, I haven't tested it enough to give you guys, enough information to know whether it works perfectly fine or not. But it looks like it would have, you would have made some profit if you took every single trade from last week till today, which is still good. As long as you end up in profit, that's always a plus. Because if you could just keep rinsing and repeating it, doing it over and over again, in the long run, you'll still be in profit overall. Okay, so let's see. Angel said, what is the strategy called if not pivot? So Angel, depending on what strategy you are looking for, so the course is right here. I'm not sure if you've started learning the strategies, but the daily strategy that we've been applying, that's the K² daily US 30 strategy. That's the one that we take once a day. This is the one that I call for the signals. It's even noted in the signal. So if you see the signal that I post, it says, daily New York session US 30 entry. So if it says this, that's going to be that strategy. If you want to scalp, you can go to the K² pivot strategy, and then there's going to be the K² pivot scalping strategy, the intraday strategy, and the swing strategy, which is pretty much the same exact strategy, but it's just done on different time frames. Let's see. DJ said, I ended up not liking the results and not applying it. So yeah, see, so there goes, DJ's opinion on the Aussie entry. generally for me as well, I want to trade something that has a high win rate. Something like this is maybe like a 60-70% win rate, but I want something high. Like I want something where I'm going to be confident I can take the trade and I can just forget about it. I don't want to have to like worry about the trade and worry if it's going to hit TP or not. Like, check this out. So like I've been using the K2SR zone trading strategy, and look at all these trades from Monday. We've had 7 wins and 0 losses the entire week, and it's only Tuesday, guys. We're up like 424 pips. So this is what I mean by a high win, like a strategy with a high potential of winning. And if you guys want to learn that strategy too, which I use for every Forex signal, it's going to be this one, the K2SR zone trading strategy with intraday settings. So I traded on the 4-hour time frame. This is the strategy for you guys if you guys want to trade Forex the same way I do. However, if we look at the results for US 30, so right here, these are all of the US 30 entries that we've taken, and that strategy that I use is the K2 daily US 30 strategy right here. So if you want to have these results on your own, you just apply this strategy right here. And if I do the math on this, so we had 66 wins and 13 losses. So 66 plus 13, total is 79, right? So we're going to divide 66 by 79, and that's going to give us an 84% win rate. So for our daily US 30 entries, we win 84% of the time. That's a pretty good win rate. If you ask me, for US 30, you can make a ton of money, just trading US 30 on the daily. And that's all I trade. So if you guys look at my, let me see if I can show you guys my FTMO here. So this is my FTMO funded account. I only take those daily trades that I send you guys. So make sure I'm not giving you guys any like personal information. Okay, so this is my FTMO account, guys, right? So if you look at my FTMO account, you can see what my win rate is here, right? 100%. This is my funded account. This is a real live 100K account. This is what I mean about, I want to trade strategies that have a high win rate. These are all my wins right here, 0 losses on my funded account. So when I cash out at the end of the month, I'm going to take 70% of my profits. And if this doesn't speak to you that, this is something that you should focus on, I don't know what to tell you guys, because for this, I only take US 30. You can see that they're all US 30 entries. And the only strategy that I use is the K2 daily US 30 strategy during the New York session. So, here's the real results here. My profit to this date, let's see, I started this on the 20, where's that date at? All right, so I started on the 8th. So it's been about like less than a month, and I've only taken 3 trades, but they have all been wins. So I'm in profit $2,805 on my live funded account for 100K. And I'm going to keep 70% of that. So I've only taken 3 trades. And out of those 3 trades, the profit is what, 2,805, and I keep 70% of that. I'm still going to take home about $2,000 for not doing much, just taking 3 trades. So yeah, if you guys want to learn how to, apply this strategy and have this high win rate, then just focus. Sorry guys, I'm going to take out my laundry. It keeps ringing. All right, cool. But yeah, guys, if you guys want to learn that strategy, just focus on the daily US 30 strategy. This is the only strategy I use for my FTMO because it has such a high win rate that I trust it so much that I will risk my 100K account to keep winning and stacking up profits. This should probably be higher, but I've been careful the last couple weeks because, obviously it's election season. There's no point in risking. So as long as you just keep winning and you have no losses, you just keep stacking those profits. And then at the end of the month, you get to take home 70% of those profits. But okay, so let me keep going down and see what else we got here. Sorry, let me see if I could fix this. All right, cool. So let me keep going down the questions right here. Sorry, I'm gonna scroll back up and see because I kind of went off track for a bit. Okay, Wayne said, can you look at SPX as well? Hey, Wayne, and then Wayne said, never mind, I'll send you my chart. Yeah, Wayne, if you can send me your chart, I haven't got a message from you yet. If you could send me your chart, that'd probably be better because then I could analyze what you're looking at because I want to make sure that we're looking at the same thing because I don't trade S&P, so I don't really know what you're looking at right now. You know, I could confirm your analysis, or I can, you know, give you my little analysis on it. But that'd probably be best if you just send me your chart, or you know, I'll just analyze it for you right now. I'll just show you what I think. Let me just draw these zones right here. So I'm just gonna draw these big zones because there's so many zones that are close to each other right here. All right, cool. So I got these zones lined up right here. And you guys can see, you know, price generally respects these zones. Price, you know, is basically in a big consolidation phase right here. That's what it looks like. So let me turn on the momentum indicator, see the direction of momentum. We have a sell momentum, you know, developing. However, it hasn't closed yet. This candle is going to close in about 6 minutes. But if it doesn't close, then we can probably see it shoot up further. You know, and once it breaks above here, then you can probably take, you know, a buy position. However, if this does close with the sell and it closes below here, then I would anticipate that to test this next zone down here. And then after that, it'll probably push down even further. Because it's just repeating what it's been doing, you know, in the past. So if you look at these previous signals, so check this out. We had a buy signal right here, right? What happened was it pushed up to this next zone, and then it pushed up to this zone up here, and then it came back down. However, if it breaks the zone, like see right here, price came down, we had a sell signal, and it broke the zone right there, you could have entered a short position right here and pretty much rode that to profit. Similarly, right here, when this buy signal broke this zone right here, you could have entered a long position right here and rode that to profit as well. However, for these right here, we had a green buy signal, but we wouldn't enter it because it's too close to the zone. And then it broke the zone right here, but again, it was too close to this zone. So we wouldn't have taken those trades. But like I mentioned right here, so if this closes with a sell signal and it's valid, so say it closes and it's a red bearish candle, if it closes below this point, then you can enter a short position right here and then basically ride this to the zone right here. Because once it reaches this zone, it could either, you know, reject back up, or it could break right through it and continue down further. And then if it closes below here, then that's another free ride for another sell that we can enter right below here. But yeah, just looking at S&P right now, it just, you know, it's stuck within these zones right here. So I personally wouldn't take this trade because there's still the Fed news going on. So literally, see, like this morning, they said they were going to talk about the new stimulus plan, right? So they spiked price up. After that, they said they didn't agree on anything. So it spiked price right back down. Now it's like recovering a little bit, but I don't know. We won't really know until we have some sort of further confirmation. Or, you know, we could probably just analyze this on the higher time frame because the 10 minutes, a lot of noise. The only reason I look on the 10 minutes because I generally like to just scalp these. This would be the 30-minute chart. This might be a better analysis for you because it's more spread out. Or I don't know. It might be better if you just send me your chart, Wayne, because I don't know what you're looking at. If I could see what you're looking at, then I can help you analyze it further because you haven't given me a time frame or anything, any specifics. You know, if you gave me some specifics, then I can analyze it for that specific time frame or whatever you're looking for, really. Because there's a ton of ways to analyze this. There's not just one way. So if you could give me more specifics, I can help you out further. However, right now, there's just too many different scenarios right here. So let me just keep drawing these right here. I'm just gonna make this a big one because I don't want to, it's just too much work to have to do all that. So let me turn on the momentum indicator. So if you're analyzing this on the 30-minute, we actually got a buy signal right here, right? So if you were to take this trade over here, it's still technically active for a buy. So we're anticipating this to come up and test this zone. So if you look at this buy signal right here, same exact pattern that we're looking at here. If you enter this buy over here, then you could have entered a long position right there, and you would have rode it to the next zone, just like I mentioned over here. See, I was anticipating this to test this right here and push up to the zone. Same situation right here. We got a buy signal within this open field. It pushed up to this next zone right here. Same situation over here. So these were buy signals. Right here we had sell signals, but it was at a zone. So we wouldn't have entered a sell here because it rejected right off. Similarly, right here, we got a sell signal. It tested the zone and then it bounced right off. So we wouldn't have taken those. However, if you're looking at this trade right now, you know, it has a long bias right here. But yeah, Wade, I don't see your message here. If you want to send me your chart, feel free, and then we can analyze it before before you before we go any further into that. But okay, so let me keep going down the questions. All right, so I went over Wayne's question. All right, so we got one question from Itcho Gorilla J. Oh, sorry, guys. So let me go back to Sierra's question. Sorry, Sierra, I totally missed your question earlier. So Sierra wanted me to look at NZDCHF, right? Yeah, there we go. So Sierra wanted me to look at NZDCHF. Once I'm done looking at NZDCHF, I'll look at UCAD for you. Okay, so we'll go to NZDCHF right here. Let me just make sure all the zones are proper. Zoom out right here. So turn on the K2 SRs. Looks like all the zones line up here. Let me see if I could hide these. So yeah, everything pretty much lines up for the most part. This just raised up here. Yeah, this lower zone's from the 8-hour because we don't have one right here on the 4-hour. But just looking at the chart right here, we'll turn on the momentum indicator. So this is actually a trade that we took yesterday. I took it when it came down here, I think. So when it broke this zone right here, we took a sell position and we hit full TP for, let's see, NZDCHF. So yeah, this hit full TP right here for 45 pips. You can see that entry. It's the same entry that we're looking at right here. So this trade was already finished. The thing with price currently right now, so Sierra, there wouldn't be an entry until price breaks this zone down here because Sierra said it should continue selling, right? It might. That's the thing. There's no catalyst telling you that it's going to keep going, you know? So the thing with this is it can either keep going down and test this zone right here, or it can retrace back because it hasn't retraced back yet. So the thing is, I wouldn't advise entering a sell right now because as soon as you enter a sell, I know this has happened to you because it's happened to everyone. Right when you enter that sell right here, you know what's going to happen? They know you're going to enter that sell and they're going to spike price way up here and stop you out. And then they're going to drop it right back down to where you wanted it to go. So I wouldn't jump the gun and I wouldn't enter a trade yet because there's no entry right now. In order for there to be an entry, this would have to break below this zone right here. And then it would provide for an entry right there. Or price might come up, close above this zone over here, come back down, and then I would enter the short position right there. I wouldn't just enter it because you have you think it's going to come down, because it does look like it's going to come down, but our eyes play tricks on us all the time, and the market knows exactly what you're thinking. So I wouldn't enter this right here. Let's check out sentiment. Let's see what people are thinking, because maybe they're thinking the same thing you are. So NZDCHF, IG sentiment. All right, so IG sentiment right here. See, it's like right in the middle of the chart. So there's 56% of people are long. So the thing is, it could go either way at this point, honestly. So if I was looking at sentiment and there was like 70% people short, then I for sure wouldn't take a short, because the thing is, the market makers and institutions are looking at this data too. So the thing is, if there's more people short, they're going to do the opposite, because they make money when people lose, right? So if there was more people short, then I would have taken a long. However, there's 56% of people are long right now, but this could change. So I personally wouldn't trade this, because what I see happening is they're probably going to keep moving this sideways. It's just going to keep going sideways until more people go on one side of the market. So if like 65 to 70% people go long, then they're probably going to push price up a little bit, just to give people, that confidence that they think it's going to come up. And then as soon as they have enough people in there, they're going to dump it and stop everyone out. So you don't want to end up on that wrong side of the movement, because literally it can go either direction right now. So you just type in IG sentiment. It's on IG. So this is the IG website, IG.com. But if you go to Google, you just type in NZDCHF IG sentiment. You could type in any asset you want to look at. But if you type that in, just go to the first one right here, which is IG.com. And then it'll show you what the sentiment is. And, one thing to keep in mind is you don't want to be where everyone's trading, because majority of people fail at trading, majority of people lose, and you don't want to be one of those people. So, keep that in mind when you're entering a trade. You definitely don't want to be where everyone's at, because obviously they're going to push price in that direction. So if there's, more people along, they're going to push price in that direction just enough. So people will get FOMO, people will get the fear of missing out, and they'll want to join all these people that are entering these buys right here. But as soon as they have enough people like locked into this spot right here. So this is the thing. A lot of people, when they enter trades, they'll enter something like this, like a 1 to 3 risk toward, right? They want to do that. So as soon as they push price up far enough, and they got all these people jammed in for longs, once it hits like 70%, they're going to spike price down, stop everyone out, and then shoot it right back up. And that's something that you don't want to get caught in. So, be careful if you're trading something that's heavily weighted in one direction, because odds are you might get stopped out. But yeah, so this is NZDCHF right here. I wouldn't enter this until it breaks below the zone right here for a short. Or if it pushes up above into the zone and then comes below, then you can enter. But right now there's just no entry. Unless you have some sort of entry. I'm looking right here. There's no K2SR zone entry. There's no intraday entry. There's no pivot entry. So there's no reason to enter right now. You can enter if you want, but it's just too risky of a trade, because there's no guarantee that it's going to continue down. It could go up pretty far. It might even push up like, to here or to here before it ends up coming back down. So if you do enter that trade here, I'd be careful, but there's no entry there for me right now for me to want to enter this trade. But okay, so we're all done with NZD CHF. Let me go over to UCAD right now for ITSJOGRL So ITSJOGRL let's go to USD CAD. Yeah, that's what you wanted. So USD CAD is right here. There's actually an entry right here. I might even just call it right now, because I don't think there's any news coming up. Man, Forex Factory is still down. This is weird. I've never seen Forex Factory down like this before, ever. I've been trading for a long time, unless someone took over their website. But yeah, looking at USD CAD right here, this would be a zone entry right here. I've been watching this for a while. There's actually a zone entry right here. Stop loss would probably be somewhere up there, 88 pips. I might take this. Angel said, why do they like to trick and stop people out? I mean, it's simple. It's because that's how they make their money. I'm sure you've seen that a lot, where people get tricked all the time. And it's common. That's just how trading works. And it's your job not to fall for their traps like that. A lot of people fall for those traps because they never really learn how to avoid getting caught in those. But it's common. I mean, that's why, like, I don't even know what the number is, but I know it's like more than 70% of people fail at trading because they try to trade how everyone else is trading. That's why you have to trade a little differently, like how we do. Some people trade strict price action, but you have to mix it up. You can't just trade one way because if you do, you're going to end up in those traps like everyone else. Okay, let's see. Sierra said, can you go over the zone entry strat? So I'll show you guys the because this is the same entry we're going to go over here anyway. So let me just show you guys real quick how it works. Or you know what? Let me call this entry first real quick, Sierra, and then we'll go over it real quick. This Canadian news at 2 a.m. I'm trying to figure out if there's any other news going on first. Hold on, give me 1 second, guys. Let me see if there's any. Oh, okay. Forex Factory's back up finally. Oh no, it's offline. Yeah, man, I don't know what's going on with Forex Factory. I've never seen them have issues like this before, but and it looks like the GBP news from earlier came down as well. It's weird. Okay, let me just look at forex.com. They have their calendar here too. There we go. I just want to make sure there's nothing going on right now before I enter this trade that'll like make me regret it. Let's see. Okay, so there's everything looks pretty much fine. There's only news coming up later tonight at 10. Or I don't know what time is this. This is like but okay, so let me just let me call this trade real quick, Sierra, and then I'll go over that strategy. Let me see how far is this. I'm in a scalp here. Let's see. Hey guys, don't try this at home. I'm doing this is an eyeball scalp. Like I'm just eyeballing it. I want you guys to copy what I'm doing here. Because I'm definitely over leveraging, but it's only because I feel very confident with this position. There we go. So I'm risking, this is about a standard lot. I'm trying to make 250, 65 bucks off this trade. So this is a live trade. I just took it on this is my real account. You can see right here, this is my forex.com account for Shawn. It's not a demo at all. So I'm gonna send this trade out real quick. And guys, this is something that you'll learn over time. Like I'm confident with my trade, so I know this is gonna hit. And that's why I took it without even questioning it. But I don't expect you guys to be able to do that just yet. I mean, it all comes with practice. But okay, so we got a sell stock right here. For USD CAD. Shit, people are gonna miss this. All right, I gotta be quick. All right, so people might miss this trade, but I'm already in it. So if you guys want to enter this with me, feel free. I'm already in the trade. You guys can see I'm in profit already. You know, that's how confident I felt about this trade. I'm gonna let these people know because everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, my trade didn't activate." My UCAD webinar. All right, guys. So there is UCAD right there. Let me just set up these alerts real quick, and then I'll show you exactly how I identified this. P1, 24 pips. TP2 is 44. And then we got full TP for 88 pips. All right, so I got my alert set up right here. I'm already in profit. Easy. But yeah, so let me go over the strategy real quick. Super simple strategy. This is what I use for all of the signals. So this is going to be the K2 SR zone trading strategy. So it's this strategy is really simple, and it's on the 4-hour time frame. So it's really hard to mess it up. Like literally, there's only so much that you have to look for. But yeah, looking at this right here, so first you want to confirm a break and close past K2SR level. And then lastly, confirm direction of trend, momentum via K2 momentum indicator. And then you can enter on the open of the following candle. And lastly, you can stop loss at previous swing. TP distance. So the strategy is super simple. I mean, this is really hard to screw up. So basically, first you're going to confirm a break and close past the K2SR level. So you can see right here, this entry is based on this break right here. This is just a late entry, but it's the same exact entry if we would have entered when this, broke and closed past this level right here. So right here, you want to confirm that price breaks and closes past the K2SR level. So this is one example here. There's another example right here. So you can see that price broke past this level, right? And then it closed below it. That's going to be the first requirement. There's another one right here. This candle right here broke past it and closed right below it right there, right? So that'd be the first requirement there. The second requirement is confirm the direction of momentum using the K2 momentum indicator. So if we have a sell momentum right here, which is a valid sell signal, that's going to indicate momentum is going downwards. If we have a buy signal, it's indicating momentum upwards. However, it rejected off this point and came down. Same with this one right here. We have a sell momentum candle, or in other words, a valid K2 signal. So right here, we have a momentum downwards. Right here, we have a momentum upwards. So the first requirement, we confirm our break and close past the K2SR level, which was right here. And then we confirm the direction of momentum using the K2 momentum indicator. So once those two requirements have been met, you can enter on the open of the falling candle. So technically this entry would have been right over here, right? But we didn't enter when this closed. The reason for that is because we had this burst of movement right here due to the news this morning at 6 a.m. And that's why I didn't take it right away, because I knew that price was going to retrace up a little bit, which it did. And then it came back down to refill the entry if we would have entered it at that specific time period. So once we have that, place your stop loss at the previous swing, which would be up here. Obviously swing down, swing up. This is the swing right here. That's where our stop loss is placed for 88 pips. And then our TP is down here for an equal distance away. The reason why I entered this trade and I put my TP right here is because I'm scalping it. I took a over leveraged position because I'm only going to be, so if I took this with normal leverage, then I could have rode it all the way down for the same profit, right? However, since I'm scalping it, I'm just taking this position to TP1 right here, but I doubled up my leverage. So this risk is about 10% risk. Generally, I'd be using a 5% risk. So the only reason I'm scalping it here is because I can't keep going back and forth to looking at my trade because I'm on this live webinar with you guys. So I'm over here, I'm analyzing the charts. I don't want to be on a different pair and I can't come back and check on the trade. So that's the only reason why I'm scalping right now. However, normally I take this as a normal position. But okay, so, this is pretty much the entry right here. Again, this would be another entry. So this is just another example of a different entry that we would have taken. So right here, price broke and closed past this K2SR level, right? So once price broke and closed past here, the first requirement has been met. Next, you're going to confirm the direction of momentum using the K2 momentum indicator. Right here, we have a sell signal. So momentum is coming downwards. Once those two requirements have been met, you can enter on the open of the following candle. So right here, we enter a short position. And then this would probably be the swing right here for about 64 pips. And then you let it run. And then technically, or no, not technically, it would have hit full TP. So it dropped right there to full TP and you would have won this trade, right? Pretty simple. Same thing right here. So price broke this zone right here. But this is kind of a bad example because price was like way down there already. So I'll show you this as an example. So because this is a different entry because we're basing it off the momentum candle that was, on that specific entry. But I'll show you one where we're basing it off another just random candle. So same requirements over here. Confirm a breaking close past the K2SR level, right? Right here, price broke and closed past this level. So requirement one's been met. Second, you want to confirm the direction of momentum using the K2 momentum indicator. Right here, we have a sell signal, right? So if we have a sell signal, which is most recent, momentum is still coming down. It's going to come down until we get a buy signal. So once these two requirements have been met, we've confirmed the breaking close past the K2SR level, plus we've confirmed the direction of momentum with a sell signal right here. We can enter on the open of the following candle. So right here, we enter a short position. Stop loss at the previous swing up here, which would be about 110 pips. Let's see, 110 pips. All right, we got that all set up right there. We let this run. And there we go, full TP. Easy as that. So that's looking good right there. That's a pretty simple breakdown of how the strategy is applied. Same strategy that we used for the current position over here. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not really much thinking to it other than just having your position open. Okay, so right here, this is the position I took live with you guys. I'm in profit about 50 bucks. So, I'm 50 bucks in profit. I've only been in this trade for a few minutes. And I think it's going to keep coming down to full TP. If anything, I might just remove my take profit and I might just keep riding it down further. But the position looks great so far. Let's see. We had a question from Forbes. He said a pull out of ECN. And what is he talking about? EN and AC. No, we're still in it. Let me just check if there's any other messages here. Oh man, it's Justin. I don't even know who this Justin is, but because Eber said, is it blue or red? Justin said pink. Oh man, funny guy. But yeah, so I think that's it for the questions. I don't see any other questions here, guys. Angel said, is price action different? I don't understand your question, Angel. I don't know if you mistyped that. Maybe if you could reword it. Sorry, I just don't understand what you mean by that. Said is price action different? I think you're asking if price action is different. I mean, it sort of is, because price action is based off price action. The K2 strategies are based off momentum. That's why basically all of these, all of our requirements here, um, because price action and momentum are totally different. For price action, you're basically identifying rejections off points, you're identifying patterns. We're not looking at any of that stuff. We're not looking at any patterns. We're not looking at any rejections. We're just looking at momentum. So basically the way momentum works is if we see momentum coming down and it breaks a structure, odds are it's going to continue down, right? Common sense. Like, price breaks the structure, momentum is still coming down. It's like a moving train. If a train is moving very fast to the right and it passes a point where it's going to continue going, odds are it's going to keep going, right? With price action, you're kind of like identifying where price is going to reject from. So I don't trade price action. So you might want to talk to someone else that trades price action, but they're pretty distinctly different. I don't know, go on YouTube or something and search up price action. I don't trade price action at all. So I'm probably the worst person for you to ask what's the difference between price action and momentum. But you can see right here, if price breaks the structure, we have momentum coming down. Odds are it's going to come down and test the next zone, which it did here. Same situation here. Price is coming down, broke a zone. It comes down, tests this zone, breaks it, and continues down. So, I mean, it's kind of clear, just looking at the chart to see how momentum moves, but price action is different. So you might want to talk to someone that actually trades price action, because I don't trade price action. So I can't explain, the main differences between the two. I can explain momentum. I can explain, trend continuation, because that's what I trade, but I don't trade price action. So I'm not going to explain something that, that I can't explain completely to you, because it seems like you don't really understand. So maybe YouTube it or something, but that's just not the way I trade. So I can't give you a clear explanation how price action works. But it's totally different. I mean, price action, there's a whole bunch of different ways to analyze it. But generally, price action, you basically want to analyze how, price reacts when it reaches a certain point. Like price reaches a structure right here, like a K2SR zone. You're looking for how price is going to react to it. The price's action after that, that specific event. I mean, that's probably the most basic way to explain it, but there's a ton of different ways to explain price action. Yeah, I don't know the definition either, bro. I want to help you, but I don't trade price action, so I can't give you the exact definition, and I don't want to like make up stuff because I don't know it as much. But you can probably talk to Honest. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Honest. He's in the group too, but he runs his own price action group. He used to run price action for K2, but the strategies are totally different. So his entries would be opposite of mine. That's why we couldn't work with each other. Like we would, I would call a buy, he would call a sell. So we would always be conflicting with our entries and our strategies. So if you want to learn price action, hit up Honest. He's good. He understands price action. That's his way of trading. But me personally, I trade momentum and trend continuation. So I trade it a completely different way versus, normal traditional price action. But okay, guys, so I think that's it for the questions. I don't know if anyone else has any other questions here. We have about 30 minutes until the next candle close, but I was going to take a little break before I look for the next entries. Unless you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. What I'll do right now, I'll just go through all the pairs real quick and I'll see if there's any entries so I can mark up my chart as well prior to the candle close so that we can possibly enter this. Man, I should have taken this trade right here. I don't know why I didn't. Or did we take it yesterday? I think we might have. Yeah, actually, I think we did take this trade. Odd CAD. Yeah, we did. We took that trade yesterday. So right here, full TP. That was this trade right here. So that's still coming down. We still have this odd CHF trade that's running. It's stuck within the zone right here. So I'm anticipating it to reject off it and probably come down and hit our TP. But we're just gonna have to give it some time. Let's see. On JPY, this could be a buy right here, following the same strategy that we were just going over. But I generally don't like to take a trade unless I'm like, there's a strong correlation. So like, it's kind of hard here because all of the AUD pairs are kind of going in both directions. So I wouldn't take that trade right now. But let's see if there's anything else here. JPY. Yeah, it seems like the market kind of died down after the news. So like earlier this morning, there was like news, so it kind of spiked price around. But then after that, the market just literally just died down. You can see the volatility drop heavily after the news this morning. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's really anything to take right now. I want to call some trades, but EU. This actually might be a decent buy right here. I know Sierra was looking at this earlier. We were talking about EU. I'm just going to mark it up right here. So I'll keep that marked. We got about 30 minutes still until the next candle, so it might be a decent entry. I'll just keep these marked up. But a lot can happen within 30 minutes, so I'm going to hold off on these, but I'm going to hang on to it until, let's see here, GC. The GBP positions are kind of messy because they're not all going the same direction. Like GA is kind of going up, but it's pulling down right now. GC is also coming down. Wait, bearish, bullish. So it's kind of weird. GA and GC are coming down. GC is coming up. GJ is also coming up. So they're conflicted. They're not all moving in the same direction. So when that happens, I generally try to stay away from those specific pairs because there's just uncertainty right here for NZD CAD. We would take this if it closed below the zone, but it hasn't yet. NZD CHF, nothing there. NZD JPY, nothing there. NZD USD, I actually got out of this trade at TP2 down here. I don't know if you guys are still in it, but I don't know. It's a bit of a risky trade. If this closes at a high, then it might push up to here and then maybe reject back down. However, it's just it's super uncertain right now. Oh, should I take it off? But it's still active. It's still active and it's still in profit. Let's see if there's anything else here. I think that's it, guys. All right, so USD CHF. If this closes below here, then it would be a sell, but not until it breaks below it and closes. UJ. No, it's too close to the zone right here. So yeah, guys, I think that's it for now. We still have 1, 2, 3, 4 active positions right now. AUD CHF, Euro NZD, NZD USD, and USD CAD, which we just took right now. And I'm going to be looking at these 3 pairs for the next candle close, which is AUD JPY, Euro USD, and GBP CAD. But we still have a lot of time from now until then. The next candle closes in 30 minutes. So I'm going to go probably have like a small dinner real quick. And then I'll be back in like 30 minutes for us to call any new trades. Let's see. John said Euro NZD. Yeah, that's one that we have active right now, John. It's still active right now. It's just pulling back, but there's no sell signal. So the momentum is still going up. Until we get a sell signal, then price can still shoot right back up. It looks like what it did here is it just filled the gap. So price came up, it just retraced back a little bit, and then it could probably just shoot right back up. So I wouldn't be too worried about this trade. There's still a lot of space. It's not even close to stop loss. So for Euro NZD, I wouldn't worry too much about it. It's obviously in an upwards trend. So if you analyze it from trend analysis, it still looks like a great trade. So I know a lot of people are freaking out about this trade this morning. People were saying that we shouldn't have entered it. Well, if you shouldn't have entered it, then you shouldn't have taken the signal. But that's a whole different story. But yeah, John, so let's look at your NZD right here. It's just pulling back a bit. There's no confirmation that it's going to come down and hit stop loss, you know? So I would just hang on to it. Looking at the other Euro pairs, they're all still bullish. See, if you look at everything here, Euro NZD, it's bullish overall. Euro JPY, it's bullish as well. EG, it's bullish. EC, it's bullish. Euro CAD, it's bullish. It just pulled back a bit. I mean, a lot of people are freaking out, but if you look at all of the Euro pairs, it's the same thing for every single pair. It's pushed up, retraced a little bit, and then it's shooting right back up. So it looks perfectly fine to me. I don't know if you guys want to exit it, you guys can, but I'm going to hold on to it. You know, it's all about patience and having confidence in your trades. So I guess that's it for now, guys. You know, hope that helps, John. If you have any other questions with EN, just let me know. But I think you should just sit tight because this candle hasn't been closed below yet. The thing with this, yeah, and Sierra said, you know, EU is super bullish as well right here. And I'm thinking about taking this buy if this closes above it. So all of these coincide with our current active trades like USDCH, USD CAD. You know, they all kind of line up. So that's why you know, so this is bullish here. So this is showing that the US dollar is weak, right? Same with right here, USD CAD, it's coming down. So it's showing that the US dollar is weak, but the Canadian dollar is strong. So that's why I still anticipate this to bounce right back up. Sierra says, so that means, yeah, Sierra. So looking at, I mean, if you look at any pair, so basically if price is going up, that means that the first currency is getting stronger than the second currency. If price is going down, that means that the second currency is stronger than the first currency. So you can see right here, price was going up. This means the euro is stronger than the dollar. Then right here, price was coming down. This means that the US dollar is stronger than the euro. You could kind of look at it as a seesaw. So whatever is heavier, so the US dollar is heavier when it's going down, that means that the US dollar is stronger. If the euro is stronger, like if you're looking at it from a scale point of view, see if the weight's down in the euro and it's heavier than the US dollar, then it's stronger when it's going upwards, and then vice versa if it's going downwards. And that's just an easy way to identify if, you know, that's the case. And if you're taking a trade, so if you're taking a euro trade, one thing that you can look at, which is what I look at too, is before I take a trade, is I try to confirm that. So say if I'm taking Euro USD, right? I look at all the Euro pairs. You can see on the watch list that they're all lined up here, right? I have all the Euros back to back. So I have Euro AUD, Euro CAD, Euro CHF, Euro GBP, Euro JPY, Euro NZD, Euro USD. If I'm going to take a Euro USD buy, I'm going to go down each Euro pair and I'm going to make sure that they're all bullish. So if they're all bullish, odds are the Euro is super strong. So that gives you the extra confirmation that, you know, price is probably going to continue in that direction. So that's just another additive that you can use when analyzing your trades before entering it. And that'll just give you that extra confidence that, you know, this price is probably going to keep going in that direction because it's going to go along with how price is moving. And here you go with our USD CAD over here. Looking great so far. I'm up like 37 bucks in profit. I'm gonna let that hit TP1. I'm gonna exit with my scalp for a profit of 265 bucks. But yeah, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna go grab dinner real quick. I'll be on Telegram. So I'm probably just gonna order some takeout, guys. So just go ahead and message me on Telegram, and I'm gonna look for trades once we get closer to 6 p.m. Candle closing in about 24 minutes, so I'll be around in about 20 minutes. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the chat. Thanks for showing up, guys. And just remember, we have this every Tuesday and Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Savings Time. I'm probably going to start doing this during New York session because I know that's when a lot of people want to, you know, people have questions. But we'll try to like work that in because I don't want to make a quick change and then everyone's kind of thrown off by the schedule. But for now, we're going to stay at our normal schedule, 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Savings Time. And then along the way, we'll start changing things up a bit.